Welcome. In this video, we're going to cover how you can increase the prices you're charging for your Fiverr gigs. There's a method on how to do this, and we're going to look at a specific case, a specific seller that's actually increased her prices for her Fiverr gig by 20x. She went from charging $5 for a 500 word article to charging $100 and $15 for a 1500 word article to $305. I purchased an order from this seller when she was first starting out on Fiverr, and I've kind of noticed how she's been able to grow her Fiverr account, how she's been able to increase her prices on her Fiverr gigs so that she can make more money and win more business on Fiverr. So I'm going to go to my order history, and here are my completed orders, and we're going to actually blur out anything that makes the seller or her gig easily identifiable. I'm not affiliated with this seller, nor have I been paid to promote her or her gigs. I'm just a buyer that wants to share this excellent case study on what she did and how she increased the prices for her gigs so that she can make more money. I just want to show you and share with you how you can make more money on your own Fiverr gigs. So I have this order here from February 1st, 2020, for which I paid $17 for. This is her gig or service to write a blog article for her customers. And here's the order information here. It was actually completed on February 6th. There's the price tag on it. And if we click on the details, we'll see the specifics of the order, what she was offering. The offer was for 1,500 words, a 1,500 word blog article or post on any topic. So for $15, that's amazing value. If you were to search for this kind of order or this kind of gig on Fiverr, even outside of Fiverr, if you were talking to an agency or some other writing service, I think you'd be hard-pressed to find this kind of value. Anyone who can deliver a quality 1,500 word article is probably charging a lot more than $15. So if we click on her gig, we can take a look at what the price is currently. So this is her basic offering. It's a 300 word blog post for $60. But if we scale up, if we look for 1,500 words, so she has a 500 word for $100, and then 1,000 for $205. Now if we input 1,500, let's see what we have. $305. So she went from charging $15 at the beginning of 2020 for a 1,500 word blog article to $305 for the same article. That's amazing. I just love seeing folks get paid and scale their income like this. That actually scales 20 times. 20 times! Amazing. 2,000%. So let's take a look at how she did this. So here's the original order when she first started, and this is what she offered. 1,500 words in 5 days, 2 revisions, 4 focus keywords, including topic research. 1,500 words in 5 days, that sounds reasonable. That's great. And at $15, I was more than willing to try this order out. So what I've noticed for her, this was in February 2020. Now let's go back to my order history. And if we go through the order history, a few months later in April 2020, I ordered another article from her. But this article, this order, this gig looks a little bit different than the 1,500 word article that she was offering. I'm going to click on details, and here we can see it went from 1,500 to 500 words. Now, initially, you might think, well, she was offering 1,500 words at first, and then she shrunk it down to 500. The reason I ordered from her again was because I saw her work was awesome. I saw her work was quality. She was legit. So I was more than happy to put in another order for her. Look at the gigs side by side. So we have a before and after. So this is the after, and here's the before. So this before on the left, that's from February 2020. And on the right, we have our after from April 2020. So the order details were updated from 1,500 words to 500 words. The timeline, the duration for completion, updated from 5 days to 2 days. 2 revisions, still the same. 4 focus words, updated to 2 focus words, and there's still topic research. So this isn't a bait and switch, because she had offerings at one point for 1,500 word articles, but she knew her value, she knew what she brought to the table, and updated her orders, her gigs, to show that accordingly. So now, at this point, April 2020, this is what she was offering. Nowadays, you're more likely to find gigs on Fiverr that are similar to the order on the right as opposed to the one on the left. So what she did was basically something similar to offering a free trial, because at this price point and the quality of work that she produced, the value was very similar. It was just tremendous value that she provided. She used this to scale her income, and nowadays, to date, 2 years later, she has 546 reviews, still a 5-star rating for all of her gigs. The one mistake that I'm seeing from a lot of folks offering their services on Fiverr is they have 1 or 2 good reviews and then they immediately increase their prices. The thing is, when they do that, they stop receiving orders. So let's talk about how you can scale your Fiverr orders the same way that this seller did here. I'm talking quadrupling their prices. We'll touch on 2 of the 4 P's of marketing. There's content out there for promotion and place for Fiverr. Obviously, the place is fiverr.com, and promotion, there's content out there on optimizing keywords and thumbnails. I won't touch on that in this video, but if you do want a video on that, let me know in the comments. But for this video, we'll cover product and place. So product being the gig that you're offering, your deliverable, and pricing, of course, is the price at which you set your gig or order. Now, these points will be obvious, but if you try to execute on these points by themselves, separate, without consideration or ignoring the other points, then you'll likely run into hindrances to the growth of your Fiverr orders. So it's important to be strategic and even plan how you'll execute on each of these points so that they can work together and help your Fiverr account, help your Fiverr orders grow. So the first point that this seller did was she kept her prices low when she was first starting out to attract customers. This is pretty simple. There are always customers who are looking for a good bargain, or they're just not able to pay that much. During the last quarter of 2020, I bought from another seller who kept her prices at the $5 minimum even until she stopped using Fiverr. She received tons of orders, but she always had close to double digits in her queue, as she also had a good turnaround time. So I'm just opening up the first order I submitted to her and then the last order I submitted. So this is the first order. It's at the $5 minimum, and we'll take a look at the details. So her turnaround time was 3 days for 500 words, which is still pretty good. I mean, that's very attractive. And then the last order that I placed with her was also the same details. And she ended up racking up 238 orders, all at the $5 minimum. But this gig of hers has a 5-star rating from all those orders. So you can imagine she was pretty busy. There are two issues with this. One, you're probably leaving a lot of money on the table if you don't raise your prices, because she's established social proof with her ratings. So with this 5-star rating, she could probably increase her prices to make more money. The other issue is I noticed the quality of her work kind of dropped because she wasn't able to focus as much on my orders since she had so many to handle. If you keep your prices too low and build up all these orders in your queue, it can be difficult to juggle. Not to mention receiving revision requests and coming back to revise an order. All of this could put more stress on yourself. So you don't always want to keep your prices low, but the takeaway here is to keep your prices low when you're starting a new gig and trying to gain traction. The second key point to charging and making even 20x on what you make from Fiverr, like this seller did, is to produce quality content. Her writing was excellent. That's why she was receiving great reviews. And that's how she was able to drive more attention to her gigs. So make sure you're producing quality work. If you're offering graphic design services, consult resources like the Canva Design School, where they offer courses, tutorials on things like graphic design basics, designing for social media, designing for videos. If you're writing, use a tool like Grammarly. I use this quite a bit as the free version helps you with grammar, spelling, and punctuation. Their premium offering will take your writing to the next level by helping you with writing in a concise manner, with tone, and with vocabulary choice. So figure out how you can improve your work. I've heard people say as an exercise for writing, copy sentences from a good writer. Write them out word for word over and over to help improve your writing. You can emulate their writing style and how they structure sentences. Another way to improve is to take some training, invest in yourself. Fiverr actually offers courses. They have courses on marketing, SEO, Photoshop, social media, designing websites, writing. Ultimately, the key is to see great examples or to invest in yourself for training and practice. Practice, practice, practice. The great thing about practicing is it helps you to build a portfolio of work that you can show to others. The third key point to 20xing what you're charging and how much you can make on Fiverr is to raise your prices at the right time. So when this seller was consistently receiving a good number of orders, so that she had a couple of orders already in her queue and she had a good number of 5-star reviews, she was increasing her prices to make more. I didn't track how many reviews she had when she raised her prices, but I felt like it was above 20 for sure. So think about the number of reviews you have, your deadlines, and the work in your queue. If you have a handful of orders with deadlines spread out, you may want to wait and build up demand. When you're trying to build demand, that's when you want to consider how your orders are being promoted, like the title, thumbnails, click-through rate, if you want to run ads, etc. The other seller I was talking about before kept her prices at the $5 minimum and built up a lot of demand with close to double-digit orders in her queue, partly because she had a quick turnaround. You can test this out by building up slightly different gigs, but note when you're receiving a constant flow of orders so that you have a couple in your queue, make sure you're increasing your prices and allowing enough time for each deadline. If you take these 3 points and work them together into a strategy for yourself, then you can make your way to 20xing what you make on Fiverr like this seller did. If you found this video useful, like and comment. And if you want more insight into making money online, subscribe to the channel. We'll see you in the next episode.